everybody, and welcome back to
Shut the Smut Up. Oh.
Sassy today.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. This is episode 7.
Correct.
And what are we talking about today?
We are talking about The Academy Games by Amber Paige.
Yes. We're going to put it right here. So we just wanted to read the book description. So perfection is key. That's how Ira Brightheart made it to Freydora Academy. It didn't matter that her parents left her at the Academy's doorstep when she was a baby. She had to earn her way in. Years of studying, late nights, taunting from her classmates, memorizing spells and recipes secured her spot, and now her final test awaits.
Dun dun dun.
Every year, Freydora Academy for Witches competes against Tracor Academy for Wizards in a series of games. Whoever wins earns themselves and their school high prestige. Ira has worked tirelessly throughout her years at Freydora for a chance to participate in the games, and when she finds out she made the cut, she's ready to win. But the last person she expected to meet was Ryan Gwydion. Ryan is a carefree, fun-seeking, kind-hearted ray of sunshine. He's the kind of wizard she should stay away from because he could derail her end goal, but the games have a different plan in mind. The council is ready for the realm to change. They're tired of the growing tension between witches and wizards, so they take matters into their own hands, changing the games and this pair entirely. Let the games begin. Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
So, I wanted to talk about, what did you think about the book in general?
I really liked it. I thought that it was like a really easy, cozy read. And I feel like I've been reading a lot of really like high fantasy, huge world building after like the Realmbreaker series, that it was just like a good palate cleanser.
I could agree with that. I feel like, yes, this was fantasy, right? But it had that nice, like you said, a palate cleanse to it, to where it was easy to just, if you were in a reading slump, this would be that type of a book to where you could sit down and just read it within a day, right? Like it was just...
And I think we both basically did.
Yeah, it was like, a comfort.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked it. I kind of liked that it was like a reverse Grumpy Sunshine. So yeah, Ira's like the grumpy one, and then Ryan's like kind of the golden retriever, like sunshiny.
And that's exactly how I would describe Ryan, as a golden retriever.
Yeah.
He's a nana.
Yeah, I have a golden retriever, and her name is Mihala, and that's literally her personality.
Yeah, I would definitely say, yep, that fits.
One thing I really liked about the book is that, I mean, I love anything that has like witches and wizards, because, I mean, who didn't?
Magic.
Yeah, magic, fantasy, all the things. I mean, and who didn't read like Harry Potter growing up or watch the shows or anything? So it kind of was fun,
nostalgic, in a sense.
So I love any of the witches and wizard stuff. I loved that they had familiar animals.
Familiars.
Yeah, I thought that was a super interesting concept, just because I haven't really read a book in a while that's kind of had that. It's been a
I was gonna say it's been a minute. You don't see a lot of familiars. I mean, unless you're only reading witch books, right? So yeah, speaking of their familiars, Ira, hers was a black cat.
Yes, which I loved because
and I feel like there was more to the black cat than what was told in the story, because...
Is it a black or a gray?
I thought she was black. I'm almost positive she was black.
Well, now I'm second guessing it, so we'll have to double check on that.
Amber, if you watch this, I apologize.
We're chaotic 24/7.
I would say she's black, but she was kind of like the normal familiar compared to what everybody else had, right?
Yeah. Like
Ryan, he had the little mouse creature, right? Mm-hmm. So it was opposite of what you see somewhere else.
Yeah. So when you start the book, they talk about, I mean, you obviously start with Ira's perspective first. So it's a dual POV, which I like that. Some people don't, but that's just something that I feel like you get a little bit more insight. So I thought that was kind of fun. But you kind of start off with her really like diving into like her studies and kind of like getting her personality. You kind of meet her roommate Marley, which is her best friend. And it just talks about like the difference in the academies.
Correct. Yeah. Because obviously they're split between the two different academies. One is for males, for the wizards, and then one is for the witches, the females. So yeah, you get to see that. You kind of get the sense that obviously Ira is a loner, because she's so into her studies. She wants to be the top witch that she can be and she knows that she, in her head and her heart, she's like, I'm gonna win these games.
Yeah.
This is my chance.
Yep. So this year is different. So originally what they've done in the past is they've competed against each other. Well, this year they're making it so that they have to pair up. So you have a witch and a wizard that are going to go through these trials together.
Correct. Yeah. And then there's 3 sets of trials. Nobody knows what they are. Each year they are different. So for this year, for Ira and Ryan, there is the first trial, which is a potion trial. And you really get to see Ryan's like golden retriever side hardcore boil through with this.
Well, and she didn't think he was going to be any help.
Correct, because
she thought that she knew everything, which kind of gives me
like smart. He's not the smart one. He's wondering why he even made it to these trials, because his grades are shit, and he's like the carefree golden retriever.
So sometimes like I've heard like some people say it's kind of like the Hunger Games-esque vibes. So in like these trials, they have them basically like televised, if that makes sense. And so everything that Ira and Ryan are doing, like the masses are seeing. So there's these like really cutesy moments that happen, but everybody's seeing it. So everything's public. So everybody kind of knows what's going on. So like at the end of the first trial, there's a part like when you say golden retriever that he like tucks a flower behind her ear, and I was like, well, that was cute. Like,
yep. And like the whole Hunger Games thing, I mean, it's kind of like Katniss and Peeta, right? Where they have their little sweet moments that everybody's watching, and it makes them fawn and fan for them even more. Yeah. And so, but then you do have your Harry Potter moments, right? Like, for the second trial is a maze, and it makes you think of the Goblet of Fire, because they have the Triwizard Tournament, right, and the last one is a maze, and it's constantly changing.
Right.
So you get those vibes of that,
but then you also kind of have so there's another girl at the academy that used to be friends with Ira, and they just hate each other now. They're competitive. Rivals. Yeah. And so there's a part in that where one of the wizards and the witch Katie like are together, and they're just like going after them. And that was a little intense.
Okay, so going on to your whole Katie thing, right? So if you've read the book, you obviously know that Katie is messing around with some dark magic.
Yeah.
I wish we would have gotten more insight on the dark magic.
I 100% agree with that.
Just more insight on Katie, right? I wish she kind of would have had a point of view for those moments, because
she's kind of evil.
Yeah,
very undermining of Ira, very like jealous.
Yeah.
She does some stuff, and poor little Ryan believes her because he just thinks the best of people. Like,
so I wish we would have had more of those dark magic moments, right? Because yes, this is a cozy read, and I completely like it, right? But
we're
I like the dark. Like, give me the dark, the gritty.
I'm naturally suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Yes.
Don't be suspicious.
So I kind of kept waiting for like something to happen. And it was still like such a good, easy, cozy read.
For sure.
But I think I had been reading some dark stuff that I was like waiting for anything around the corner. And then I was like, I need to chill out and just enjoy this.
So after the second trial, that is when we get our moments of spice.
Yes.
So what did you think about this spice? What would you rate this spice that was in this book?
Maybe
out of a 5 chili pepper.
Like a 1 or a 2, maybe?
I would give it a 2 chili pepper.
Okay. There's more than a few scenes.
Correct. Yep. There are a couple scenes.
I feel like the spice is what bumped it up to a 4 for me.
And I could agree with that. And there's nothing wrong with the book or anything.
Yes.
It's just it was so cozy. I just felt like I wanted a little bit more within the book.
Like gritty, like
correct.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, the spice was good. I know Amber Paige. She is a kind of a newer indie author. I'm not sure if I think she's wrote a book before this.
Okay.
But
you'd probably know more than I would.
This is definitely my first book by her, and I definitely enjoyed it.
Mine as well. Yeah, I did. It was great.
So
she's a good writer.
Then after the spice and the relationship kind of builds, we go into our third trial, which is about a battle. So they split up the last main 2 couples, so they have to battle each other. So Ira and Ryan get split up and have to battle the other two. So
Katie ends up being against Ryan, and then Ira ends up being against
Matthias?
I think it's Matthias. I always want to say Matthias too, but it's Matthias.
Yeah, Matthias.
And Matthias has kind of like gravitated towards Katie in this, and he's friends with Ryan, and Ryan kind of keeps telling him like, don't let her darkness like taint you, basically. And so he's like, we know that like the way Katie is, she's going to hardcore go after Ryan, but Matthias and Ira, you're just not sure like what's gonna happen.
Correct. But Ira proves that she is the badass that she is.
Of course.
And we see that she doesn't need to use words to create spells,
yeah,
right?
Where the other ones have to say the spells out loud. Yeah, and she doesn't have to
shoot them right out. So she doesn't have that layover, that delay. So she just takes on Matthias. And totally beats his ass.
Yeah, that part was pretty cool. I loved that.
So, and I did like that. Then once the one battle was over, they made her go into the other one, and then she had to face the other two. And they're like, well, you gotta.
Yeah.
So it was actually 1 against 3 in a sense.
Yeah. Well, she ends up finishing with Matthias earlier, so she has to go over to the other one, and Katie's going after Ryan, and he already, like, when you get his point of view, he kind of says that he doesn't want to
win.
Yeah. And so he's nervous, but he knows that like he's gonna have to really try hard with Katie.
Obviously, he's gonna still try everything he can against Katie, but once Ira comes in, I mean, she kind of handles the business.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my stomach.
No, it wasn't. It was a dog. Weirdo.
But she comes in and handles business, and just, I mean.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though, that little scene where Katie throws like basically like the impenetrable like dome over everybody, because remember she tries to kill.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, she tries to kill Ryan, and Ira's like freaking out, and even like the headmistress of Freydora.
Magic.
Yeah. So it was like kind of a like little intense there at the end. But it was like we said, it's like a cozy fantasy, so it wraps up really nice. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was a great cozy read. Like, it's very quick. I think Amber's a great writer. I think she does a very good job.
I did want more of the book. I wish this wasn't a standalone.
Yeah.
But it is, and that's okay.
I think it would have been interesting as a series, but I feel like as a standalone it still was great.
Correct. And I mean, I've talked to Amber, and she said, you never know.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a thing recently with authors that they're doing like little spin-offs and like different extra stories.
I mean, because we could get another Academy Games of the next years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
like what's coming next.
Technically, that's how the book ended.
What are you doing? Sit down.
The book ended with the next year's Academy Games.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
There's all sorts of things that could be done. But yeah, it was cozy. It was just humble.
Yeah.
I feel like
I really enjoyed it.
A great, humble, cozy book.
Yes. I'm in agreement.
So
I don't have anything else. I think that we did a pretty good wrap up, and
I did too.
Yeah.
If you haven't read the book, we spoiled it all for you. Yeah, that's okay, because you're here to watch that.
Yes.
So
okay. Bye, guys.